to another day of adventures with Wes and Jeff, and we are at Bryce Canyon National Park, and it is in the south central section of the state of Utah. So behind me, over my shoulder, are what they call hoodoos, and these hoodoos were formed a really long time ago. About 60 million years ago, sediments filtered into a large body of water named Lake Flagstaff. Silt, calcium carbonate, and other minerals settled on the lake bottom. These sediments consolidated and became a formation, a soft, silty limestone with some shale and sandstone. Lake Flagstaff had long since disappeared when the land began to rise and part of the Colorado Plateau uplift about 16 million years ago. Uneven pressures beneath the plateau caused it to break along fault lines into a series of smaller plateaus at different levels, collectively known as the Grand Staircase. Bryce Canyon National Park occupies part of one of these plateaus. The spectacular pink cliffs on the park's east edge contain the famous erosional features known as hoodoos. Carved in this formation, variations in hardness of the rock layers result in these strange features. Water flows through cracks, wearing away softer rock around hard, erosion-resistant caps. When a cap becomes so undercut that the overhang allows water to drip down, a neck of the rock is left below the harder cap. Iron and magnesium provide this distinctive coloring that you see. The hoodoos continue to change. New ones form and old ones ebb away. Wind blows and plays little role in creating this landscape. It's the freezing and thawing, the snow melt, and the rainwater that dissolve weak layers, pry open cracks, and carve out the forms. The plateau cliffs, meanwhile, recede at a rate of about 1 foot every 50 to 60 years. Here at the Visitor Center at Bryce Canyon National Park, and they just happened to be celebrating their 100th year anniversary. So this park became a park back in 1923. This is the Visitor Center. It's crawling with people. 2.5 million visitors per year. And Bryce Canyon, I'm going to take you through the Visitor Center here. So they have a nice big bookstore to the right, which has puzzles, full puzzles, and t-shirts and stuff like that. Then they have the helpful park rangers that can help you plan your day here at Bryce. And Bryce Canyon is known for its hoodoos. So you're thinking, what is a hoodoo? Well, a hoodoo is it's a very tall spire that has been shaped by the winds, the rains, and all the elements. So there are different types of hoodoos. They're kind of a bright orange color, beautiful color. I love the color of the hoodoos. And this tells how they've been shaped. But the canyon looks like that. So I'm going to show you more of that and give you some more information about how hoodoos are formed and why they are in this area. But this visitor center gives you an overview of everything that you might see, the different types of animals, and prairie dogs make their home here in the hoodoos. the native peoples and the pioneers that came into this area and settled here. The Mormons that settled here in Utah. It's in south central Utah. Night sky. This is a night sky location because there's not a lot of light pollution. So this is the map of the canyon. And they have a nice theater presentation here as well. This is outside. These are the park amenities. They do have lodging here. They have campgrounds. They have a museum. They have movie. Inside here at the visitor center, they have a shuttle bus that it's optional, or you can drive it. They have trail rides with horses down into the canyon. They have the different places here, sunrise, sunset, great photos over the Hoodoos, the Rim Trail, the different hiking trails. I'm going to do several of those on this trip, and so stay tuned and I will show you some of those trails. This is the Bryce Amphitheater, which they call their main central section, which is the Rim Trail that goes all the way out to the end here and then turns around and comes back. But I'm gonna take you to the sunset point, the sunrise point. I'll take you to Inspiration Point as well as Bryce Point, and on a couple of the short hikes into the canyon. And this is about kids enjoying the park, and they've got a really nice visitor center. Along the drive into the park, in the meadow to the right, you will see Utah prairie dogs. They live in a maze of underground tunnels and are considered a keystone species because their burrows sustain meadow habitat for other animals and help water movement through the soil. The Utah prairie dog, a ground-dwelling member of the squirrel family, is the smallest prairie dog species in the world and is only found here at this park and just a few other areas in the southwestern part of Utah. We're at one of the overlooks here at Bryce Canyon at Inspiration Point, which is at elevation 8,100 feet. You go up this long trail here, which is paved, and it takes you up to the Inspiration Point with a grand view of the Hoodoos. Hiking up to Inspiration Point, and it's quite an incline, but it'll give me a great view across the vast part of the Hoodoo Amphitheater. So it's definitely worth it. There's a couple little viewpoints along the way that you can stop at and get a great view. One that's approaching, so I'll go out to that and take another look. It's a different angle. Beautiful view. There's so much to see. Sun's setting it nice right now. Still further to go. There is the Inspiration Point. I'm at Upper Inspiration Point, and what a view from up here. It's quite a hike up, but it jets out to the end here, up and over the Hoodoos, and it's quite a view and very impressive display. And you can see all the way around here at Inspiration Point. You got the kind of sand color ones. You got the green tree line, and it drops right off into the canyon. And you can see some of the hiking trails that are located down into the canyon. And all the color variations, very impressive. Quite a sight to see. You can see off in the distance too. So I definitely recommend that you take a hike up to the very upper section of the Inspiration Point. There's the lower section that will just take you to the lower section just outside of the parking lot. But if you come all the way up to this upper section, it's a much grander view. Here at Bryce Point, which is at the very far end, at the very southern end of the canyon rim trail. So I'm going to give you the views of what you can see here at Bryce Point Overlook. It's just a parking lot. You can drive right to it and then get out and walk along the rim. So here at Bryce Point, there's a paved trail that takes you out to the overlook, and it's probably like a 0.3, but it's all paved, easy accessible. So this is the overlook here, one of the, but that's the one that I'm gonna go out to out there where those folks are perched out on the end of that to get a bird's eye view. So it gets to this point right here, and then you can proceed on down to the overlook area down there. So we're on the Bryce Point trail here and walking out to the end to get our view. Cool. And it goes out to a peak. You can see the viewpoint over here. That was just starting to get some shading from the clouds, but the interesting thing about it, it doesn't have to have sun on it all the time, because the shadows really make these hoodoos really shine a different way. So every time you look at it, it's different because the clouds are going in front of the sun and shading it in certain areas and making it so much more interesting than just full sun on it. I'm at Bryce Point, and this is the Peekaboo and Hat Shop trails. They're fairly steep and they go down quite a ways, but I'm gonna go just a little ways down the Peekaboo loop, and see what it looks like from that angle. The Bryce Amphitheater is what they call it. So it's a fairly strenuous walk, but the one that I'm going to do with you today, the Peekaboo Loop, I'm just gonna do the first section. The Bryce is at 8,300 feet, and then you turn to the right. Instead of going out to the peak, you go to the right and just go down these stairs, and these steps will take you down. Great views to the left, and you're gonna go down these stairs, and it's gonna round off here, so you're not actually descending a long way into the canyon, because as you know, if you go down, you got to come back. So it's kind of strenuous, but I'm just gonna take you on the Peekaboo Loop just a little ways so you can see what these hoodoos look like from this angle. And it's a nice little trail, nice and wide, and it's up and down, but not too bad. And that's looking off into the valley there, into the Bryce Valley and the town of Tropic, Canyonville. And this is looking into the canyon, and the visitor center and the lodge and all of that is off this way to the north. So this is a very southern end of the canyon. Just really pretty views. Hi. So from the parking lot, there's an overlook here that you can just look over and see this same view instead of walking down this area. Park Service has put some logs here so people don't go out there and risk their lives. But you know what people do, they kind of ignore those things and go out. This is just a pretty view here, and this continues on down, and you can see it snakes around this and does a zigzag on down into the canyon. I'm at the Sunset Point overlook, and it's there's a big parking lot that you can park at, and it's at elevation 8,000 feet. So it's a nice little walk along the rim here at Sunset Point. And we're kind of at sunset. It's getting to be anyway. So this is walking along the Sunset Point. And it starts at one end and has all the hoodoos on your right hand side. It's a nice little walk along here. So this is the most southern point on the Sunset Loop. You can walk all along the rim. Look way up there. That's Inspiration Point. You can see the folks standing out on the end of the ledge there. Look at that. Getting a great view here towards sunset. And it's a nice little walk through here. Tomorrow in the morning, Jeff and I are gonna walk the dogs from sunset to sunrise points. And dogs are allowed on these trails as long as they have a leash. And so it's kind of nice. They This is a really pleasant little walk along the rim here. Rangers have geology talks. This is information about deciphering nature's palette, the formation that I had explained to you about on how they were formed. So this is the Sunset Point Loop. This is the world's largest collection of hoodoos, and it's these are some of the trails here. You can see some of the folks are coming up the trail that are sending the hoodoos. And this is, I'm currently at the Sunset Point, and the Sunrise Point is over there on that peak. You can see the folks out on the end. In the 1850s, Ebenezer and Mary Bryce, Mormon settlers, made their home near here and built a road into the amphitheater to harvest lumber. Therefore, locals began calling this area Bryce's Canyon. So when this area became a national park in 1928, the Bryce name was immortalized in the name of the park. The Paiute Indians inhabited this region for hundreds of years before the arrival of European settlers. A sacred oral tradition of the Paiutes states that these hoodoos are ancient legend people turned into stone by the coyote as punishment for bad deeds. Herds of pronghorn traverse this national park. These hoofed mammals with short horns on the tops of their heads are very impressive. Not only do pronghorn have the longest migration in the continental U.S. of up to 200 miles, but they also are the fastest land animal in North America, reaching speeds of up to 60 miles an hour. They have very large eyes and fantastic vision, spotting movement and potential predators up to 3 miles away. Hi there, I'd just like to share with you our wonderful camping site here, only about 8 miles from the entrance to Bryce Canyon National Park. And it's on Dixie National Forest land, so it's free because we own it as American citizens. And this is our spot. Our next door neighbor is way over there. There's some way off in the distance, and the next one's way down in the tree lines, way down there. So we totally have our privacy. It's getting towards sunset, and here's our fire, and our chairs are set up, and our rug, and the fire is already warm, and that's our view across the meadow here at Dixie National Forest in Utah. So we have all kinds of firewood. They have cleared the bottom of this brush. You can see the Forest Service has come in and cleared the bottom for fire protection. So they left all of this for folks to have a nice big rip-roaring fire. So we're excited about it. And so this is where we're gonna make camp for the night. And then tomorrow morning we will once again go back into Bryce Canyon National Park for probably a half a day or so and just take in some scenery and do some short hikes. I feel like a new man. I had a shower, which doesn't seem like, hey, what's a shower? But here at Bryce Canyon National Park at the general store, they have showers in the back, and it's $3 for a token, And it's for a shower that lasts 8 minutes. And there's a men's shower room and a women's. I'm just gonna kind of show you what that looks like. So, and they also have a laundromat. The laundromat's right there. So here's the showers, and they're right to the back. They're open from 8 in the morning until 8 at night, but the last shower has to start by 7:45. So there's your little tip. If you're at Bryce Canyon National Park and you need a shower, come up to the general store and they can help you out. Hi there, we are at the Mossy Cave Trail. The Mossy Cave Trail is 0.9 round trip, so just a little less than a mile, but there is a really cool waterfall on this hike, and there's also a turret arch. So we're gonna take a little hike on this trail. There's Jeffrey. He's peeking around the corner. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna flip the camera around. You have the Hoodoos. You have a porta potty, of course. Jeff's ready to do the hike. He's ready to go. But the Mossy Cave, I just want to explain to you a little bit about it. This stream side walk leads to a small cave that fills with summer moss and winter ice. At one time, water only flowed through the water canyon after summer storms and springtime snow melt. After settlers completed an irrigation canal in 1892, water was diverted from the plateau above, steeply eroding this fragile canyon wall and feeding a waterfall that regularly freezes in the winter.
Oh look, a bridge. We love bridges, Wes.
On the Mossy Cave Trail, that is the waterfall, and it's flowing really, really good right now. Oh, your holiday is right now.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
This trail is closed. You can get around it, but the trail's been washed out by that little creek.
So we are down at the waterfall. Look at it surging. There's not a lot of waterfalls here at Bryce Canyon. So this is one of the only ones that you can go and view a nice rushing waterfall and listen to the water. Be very careful because they don't really want you to be on that side that says it's closed. That goes up to the turret arches. And you can see where people have gone up, but it does say closed by the National Park Service. But here's the waterfall, and it goes right on down the stream. Just an absolutely beautiful hike. At the Y, when you come off the bridge, you're going to make a left-hand turn to go to the Mossy Cave, right-hand turn to go to the waterfall. Cool. Mossy Cave.
Oh, there's the moss.
Where?
See the green moss growing on the ceiling? And over there, that's all moss.
Cool. It's only us. Cool. We're here at the Mossy Cave on the Mossy Cave Trail, and I just wanted to hear of it. And at the Mossy Cave, slightly acidic groundwater seeps through the harder limestone layer, dissolving and eroding the softer layers underneath. This cool and moist, shaded environment is a perfect habitat for mosses to thrive. As temperatures drop, the dripping water freezes, creating impressive icicles that sometimes last into the summer months.
Hi, we're here on the trail up, coming back down from the Mossy Cave, and I noticed this big tree here, and it has, this is a pine, and it has this big bark, crevices in it. So that's one thing that tells me it might be a Jeffrey pine. And the way you can tell is a Jeffrey pine smells like vanilla. And it does give off a real scent like vanilla. And my name is Jeffrey, but that's just a coincidence.
Such a great hike on the Mossy Cave Trail, and that running water was so cool, and it was so beautiful to watch it coming down from the waterfall and the creek there. Nice bridges. But one thing it makes you want to do, it makes you want to go pee because of all the ruddy water. So just hold it until you get back to the parking lot, because the parking lot has a restroom, so the National Park Service put it there. So I'm gonna go pee now. We are at the Sunrise Point, 8,015 feet, and we're walking the dogs here, which is one of the locations you can walk dogs from sunrise to sunset point. So this is the Sunrise Point, and Jeff's down there with the dogs. This is the view. The trail goes all the way along the rim here, and so it's a nice, just meandering walk along here that you can walk. It's also a horse trail over here, but sit and take a break. And beautiful looking down into the, so this is where the horse trail leads down into the canyon. Sunrise Point here, Queen Trail. Go up here. Who is he? Who is it, girls? Hi. They're having a good times. Meeting all the peoples. This is Summer and Sky. They've been our traveling companions for this journey. They like being outdoors, but national parks are not so friendly to dogs, but this particular trail you can take a dog on a leash. Sunrise Point up here. Just hiking up to it. Beautiful day. This is where the Queen's Garden Trail goes down into the canyon. Those folks are going down in there. And there's some horses coming up from a ride down into the canyon. It's one of the activities you can do here at Bryce Canyon. So coming up to Sunrise Point. Look out. Look at that. Beautiful. So this is Sunrise Point, so it's a nice little lookout over the Hoodoos. And then I'm going to show you, this is the rim trail that goes along the edge of the rim. As you can see, it goes all the way out to that point, which is the sunset point of the trail. It's a nice little walk. Here's a thunder off in the distance there. Thunder boomers. Made it to sunrise, sunset point from sunrise. And there's Jeff and the dogs enjoying the view. What do you think, girls? Oh my goodness. We are at a place called Farview Point, which is almost at 8,900 feet. It's one of the higher parts of the park with the views. And that's the view there.
I can really see a far view.
You can see.
You can see the rain going right there.
Yeah, Jeff's saying that you can see the rain falling there in Bryce Valley, right over the town of Tropic. Nice little walk along here. The views. Pretty. The California condor is the largest land bird in North America, with a wingspan of nearly 10 feet wide. By the 1940s, this magnificent bird was on the verge of extinction, but due to progressive captive breeding programs over the last several years, there are nearly 100 condors flying over the western skies of the United States. We're at a place called Natural Bridge, which is a overlook along this part of the journey to, and this is what it looks like. Oh, Natural Bridge. There it is. Cool. Jeff just went, ooh. Natural Bridge. You like that one?
I think we have been here before.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember this.
It seems like it.
Because this is pretty grand. As
Yeah.
far as the arches go.
Yeah. The Swamp Canyon Overlook, which is on the south side of the rim trail here going south. It takes you about 15 miles down from the amphitheater. And that's Swamp Canyon. And the Sheep Canyon Trail also starts here as well. It's a nice little overlook. We're at Aqua Canyon Overlook, 8,800 feet. Oh, look at that pinnacle out there. Or Hoodoo. It is the Hoodoo pinnacle. We're at Ponderosa Point, 8,904 feet above the canyon here. Oh, look at those colors. Beautiful. We're at the Black Birch Canyon Overlook here at Bryce. Birch Canyon Overlook, and it's a very nice overlook looking up at Rainbow Point. To the right. A little bit of snow. You see the snow there because we're at 9,000 feet or so. Rainbow Point at 9,115 feet above sea level, up at the very top. And I wanted to show you, there's a bunch of trails that lead from here. I'm going to take this one right here, the Bristlecone Loop Trail. It's a 1-mile loop trail that begins here at the parking area. And it loops around and you get to see the bristlecone pine trees that are over 1,800 years old. And so this is the view from up here. There we go. Oh, hair's kind of thin here. There it is. Beautiful. You look off this way. You look off this way, you can see into the Four Corners area, way out there, which is the Four Corners area of the 4 states, which is Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. Pretty, pretty, pretty nice. Just gonna walk out to the end. A lot of lightning strikes here. This tree's been hit several times with lightning. This is Rainbow Point, and this is the furthest point you can go out. is the Bristlecone Pine Trail, and it is almost 1 mile. I'm going to take that down into the canyon a little bit so we can take a look at those bristlecone pine trees. I'm here at the Bristlecone Pine Trail, and that's a bristlecone pine behind me. That one's not looking so good, but some of the others, these have a little bit of green on them behind me, but they have a characteristic of adapting to the harsh alpine environment, and they twist and turn, and the wood is extremely hard. So they are very endurant of the alpine temperatures. And so some of the oldest bristlecone pine trees can have lived up to 4,800 to 5,000 years old. So these up here in this part of Utah at Bryce Canyon National Park are about 1,800 years old. So the ones that are living. But unfortunately, lightning strikes and different things that wreak a hole, take a toll on them. And so unfortunately they have not survived. But beautiful views up here. This is the highest point you can get in the park, and it's at the very south end. So this is the Bristlecone Loop Trail. It's been very nice. It was only about a mile long, and it's in a loop, and so you do get to see some of the bristlecone pines. So whatever you're doing today, get out and enjoy the great outdoors and do something that makes you smile. And if you liked this video, please click the like button down there and subscribe and follow us on our journey to see all 63 national parks. Video. Cool. 13.6. We are.
This is just the first one.
12.6.
Stay to the middle.
Oh, and here's the second one.
Probably watched us going through there.
Oh, here goes. Oh! It's funny.
And that is pretty cool.
Woohoo! We're along the Mossy Cave Trail. I'm going to kick that one in.